Okay.
My God. Sorry.
Sorry, can y'all hear that?
Yeah. What? Hear what?
My daughter's like screeching in the background.
Oh, I can't hear it.
Okay.
No. Thought you meant just your voice.
That's pretty annoying sometimes too, but we'll worry about that later.
Thanks, Mike. I'm aware.
I was talking about my voice. You thought I was talking about yours?
No, no, no. I was talking about your voice
You
as
were
well.
already aware that my voice was annoying? Yeah, I figured you guys
Yeah,
were.
I think so. Sorry.
What are you doing, child? Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes.
Okay. P5 has died.
You said they're dead?
Yeah, they were on the slow lane on the oval. I think they're going to the pits. What the fuck is this guy doing?
Sorry about that, 14.
How's fuck, guys? Can you sort out my pit stop?
Yep.
Hey, are you there? I can get in the car. You want me to get in the car?
Oh,
Yeah, why not?
Looks like you got some pretty shitty traffic.
I didn't know what to do.
got it, Mike.
Yeah, I'm putting tires on now. It's got fuel.
Fuck's sake. Sorry, guys. That was
Alright.
ridiculous.
It says begin. Do I click the begin fueling thing? But I
Yep.
don't click auto fuel.
Yep. Just wait until it stops. You'll have plenty of time to
Okay.
sort shit out. Fuck. Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened.
That's alright. We've already had our stuff tossed away today, so it's not your fault.
Such a fucking stupid thing, though.
Every time I looked at your screen, you had somebody like parking in front of you.
Five minutes repairs. 17 optional. Fucking hell. Oh, guys, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Tempted just to call it, but it's up to you guys.
I mean, that's up to you. I've got the girls down for a nap, so I can run a few stints, and then it'd probably be you guys to the end. I don't think I'll run much more after this, but
Okay.
I understand not wanting to quit, and so I'm trying not to. That's why I'm back in the first place. If it was just a single person race, I would have quit a long time ago.
Yeah.
But there was no reason to quit after the first one. That was just.
Split three things.
Not even. It's different level of split 3 in this thing. This is like that YouTube channel where it's like they do the they do the broadcasting for the bottom split in the big events. That's what this feels like.
How long on the repairs?
How long?
Yeah.
It was what was it, like 4 or 5 minutes required, and now it says there's 17 minutes and 20 seconds optional.
Yep. I lost sight of the corner and just went straight instead.
That's all right. It happens.
I was telling Pope about how there's a 3D printed rocket that's launching.
Yeah, I heard that right before I jumped off. It's great. Is it?
Yeah.
Was it not Tesla stuff? What's his stuff called? Starlink or?
No, it's not even SpaceX or anything.
SpaceX.
It's a different company.
It's crazy.
Relativity. I'll send the link in the chat if you want to watch it, Pope.
It seems more like that's just like you would think that there'd be stuff they could use that doesn't need to be 3D printed, but they just wanted to say it was 3D printed, you know?
Well, I mean, I've been listening to the live stream. Apparently, they developed their own alloy specific for this purpose, and they also designed all the
Maybe
3D
that's
printers
why.
used for it.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
And so I guess the purpose that because obviously they're massive pieces.
Mhm.
So the whole purpose, I guess, is that they were saying that being able to 3D print a lot of these things allows them to actually have less parts, which I guess in turn would save
Cuts
on
down on the
not only
weight.
manufacture. cuts down weight, manufacturing parts, and reliability because you
Mhm.
don't have as many things that
Less
can
failure
fail.
points. Yep, that makes sense.
It's pretty dope. I can't even lie, dude. And then I think so. They're launching this one today, assuming it goes ahead, because it was supposed to launch yesterday.
Mhm.
And then I think they have a bigger one that they're trying to develop. Um, and then they said that they're using the same. I forget what rocket fuel they said they're using, but the rocket fuel they're using, they said, is the one that's most likely to be able to be developed on Mars.
Huh.
Like most
How
easy or
do
the
they
easiest to
figure that?
manufacture there.
Yeah.
It's based on what we know of like the
Yeah.
materials that are available
The
there, you
environment.
know. Um, that's pretty dope. I'm sure everybody else is doing the same thing, but yeah.
That's
So
interesting.
they were basically saying that most things in there, like internally and externally, are pretty much 3D printed, except for things like obviously like seals, computer chips, etc.
Mhm.
Um, things of that nature.
Yeah, it does sound cool.
I'm definitely impressed, man. I mean, I got to see it launch first, but
So is this their first launch? What's the name of the company again?
Relativity Space. Yeah, I think this is their first launch.
Y'all ever seen any of the old like space documentary things from the 60s with like the Apollo stuff and all the Gemini missions and things that went on before that, other than just like the Apollo 13 movie?
I haven't seen many. Um,
There's some crazy stuff back then. Of course, I've seen
yeah,
most all of it just because it, runs through my family, and granddad worked for NASA, so like we probably watch more of that stuff than most people would. But there's some really interesting stuff. It's crazy how wild it
right.
was back then, because things were blowing up every other day on the launch pad, and all the astronauts are just sitting there watching this stuff go down, and then they're like, "Yeah, you're gonna get in that thing in about 2 months, and then try to fly it to the moon. How about that?" Versus nowadays, like I'm sure this brand new company with a 3D printed rocket will probably go off flawlessly,
Mm,
or at least not explode into a million pieces, most likely.
right. Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's a lot more. It's becoming more accessible,
Hmm.
if that's the right word to use.
Yeah, it's the
um,
technology and people
it's
learning
it's
how to do it.
exactly. There's a lot more methods to do it.
Yep, for sure.
Jesus, their mission control is literally 2, 3, 4, 6, less than 20 people. For mission
Crazy.
control, that's yeah. I mean, you could. Oh, never mind. It's a lot bigger. Probably like less than 40. Still, for a whole rocket launch, insane.
Let's see, where are these?
You got the Forte, didn't you?
Yeah, who knows when it's gonna actually get made though. I think everybody wants one
I
now. They're all on back order or pre-order.
One of my friends in AFR was telling me, he's like, dude, like you got to get the Moza, like the R16, blah blah blah. He's like, I love it, and I was like, I don't know, like I've heard good things about the Aztec. He's like, oh no, like
I'm
I've
curious
never
to
even
see
heard of
what their
them.
entry level one's gonna do when it comes out, because I mean 12 Newton
Aztec?
meters, like that's not really entry level, but it is for them. And if it's got the fidelity and stuff that their other ones have, like that might be
Hmm.
a killer like
Yeah.
semi entry level DD. Like I watched the Dave Cam review of the Forte one, and then it started to make sense to me that the Forte, like some of the extra fidelity that Boosted Media was talking about, is he's probably only going to fill some of that stuff in the ACC because there's higher refresh rate, but in iRacing you may not be able to feel it because of the refresh rate on the sim being lower. Because what is it? It's like 400 something hertz on ACC and it's like 120 on iRacing. So like there's only so much info the sim can output that the wheel's going to be able to pick up. Thinking our race might be with that 69 car. They just passed us now. I've still got 12 minutes of optional repairs. Like, should I just wait through all of them or should I try to drive? Like, their last
say
lap was like a
just
35.6.
it's gonna be a pain to drive without it.
Yeah.
So just might as well wait at this
And
point.
it's not like 10 minutes of optional damage is just going to be worth a tenth or two. It's going to be, you'd think it'd be a lot.
Exactly. I just rewinded and they said that 85% of it by mass is 3D printed.
So what would the other stuff be? So I guess
Like
just
the things I
the
mentioned, like
non 100% 3D printed stuff. Okay.
yeah, so like chips, seals. I think they said valves.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
Sealing components and stuff. Like I said,
mhm.
O-rings. Was it just a satellite? What are they doing with it?
I think it says. Hold on. Let me... I think it says it doesn't include a customer payload. So I think it's just the rocket itself.
Hmm. For heaven's sakes. Now it's saying my wireless mouse battery is about to die. Had everything go
You
wrong
just got a
today.
whole thing. Yeah.
At least get in the car just in case it decides it's not going to work.
At least we're just over halfway. Yay.
Yeah, so Matt, I'll probably try to run at least one stint, one full stint here, and then depending on when it seems like Avery's getting up, I may be able to run a second one, and then I'll probably be done for the day if you're cool with that.
Oh. If I say I'm not cool with it, does that mean you have to stay?
I guess that just means we're retiring at this point. I think Pope wants to retire at this point. That would
I've
be
never
hilarious if you get down to like the last hour and you're just like, meh, I just can't be bothered. You retire.
I've never been so depressed
Yeah.
about a race, to be honest.
Yeah, I was.
Well,
I
it,
think that the guy putting us in the wall definitely just
yeah, that kind of ruined the
kind of
race.
set
I
the whole thing
mean,
in motion. Yeah, it
I
set
know
the whole
I
thing
know
in
you're bummed
motion.
about
So.
your stuff, but that's not really super big deal.
I mean, it was a pretty stupid accident, to be fair.
All I saw is so mine was on like the TV broadcast little camera angle, so I just saw you guys coming and I saw them all piled up, and then I saw that you drifted into it, so I assumed there was carnage and stuff going on in front of you, and it just caused you to slide into it. But
I mean, it was weird. It was like I couldn't work out what they were doing ahead. It's like one of them was to the left of me. Was he letting me go? Or was he
yeah, oh yeah, I've
not
missed
letting
that
me go?
braking zone by a mile doing that stuff. That's to me, that's one of the hardest spots to figure out traffic. You got this tiny little straightaway to sort out who's going where, and then like as soon
Mhm.
as you cut one way and they cut the other way, then you've got to get your move to the other side of the track done before you hit the brakes, because it's so bumpy that if you hit the brakes too soon, you'll lock it and spin it, and it's super quick to get to that braking zone and then blow right past it before you even know what happened.
Yeah. I
And
have no idea where
even if you
to
don't
turn
blow
in.
past it, if you just lock up because you're on the wrong side of the track and it doesn't have traction, then it's a mess. Oh, the front nose of the car just reappeared.
Yeah, I just saw that.
I love that it's still dirty. Like they didn't go get a new
Oh,
nose cone and
Mike,
stick
good
on it.
news.
What?
Habib Halabi has manually disconnected.
I was curious while you guys were talking. I was trying to see what position they are in their class. They weren't last. They weren't last overall.
Hopefully this doesn't tank my safety rating right before
So
the.
I don't think it's going to do anything. I don't think this counts for safety rating. The practice race
Okay.
didn't, so I don't think this will. Now, if the
It's kind of an I
24-hour
rating.
did. Do what?
It's only official races that had count for safety rating.
Yeah, I
This
don't think
isn't.
these count for anything at all.
It just shows it on race lab apps
Mhm.
for some reason.
Okay.
It's estimating what it would have been if it was a real race, but it doesn't know that it's not going to actually account for it.
Gotcha. Oh, they just put the launch on hold.
The 3D printed launch button crumbled. They had to fix it.
Oh, they said it's just due to upper level winds.
Yeah, that stuff always gets delayed for winds and
Yeah.
things like that. They're always looking for like the perfect scenario.
Yeah.
And NASA stuff did that all the time too. So Matt, when are you gonna
Just like
stop
when they.
playing around trying to put race car suspension on your stock Toyota and buying yourself an actual sim rig instead of playing sim racing on a desk?
Well, KWV3s, they're calling my name,
On your stock car with stock power.
Well, that's the point. It's got to be not stock. That's how you make it not stock. Would you put mods on your, Camaro ZL1 if you had one?
I didn't put any mods
No,
on
I
my
guess
car.
not. It's because you're not a true car guy.
That's because I couldn't drive the car to 10/10. I knew I didn't need to do anything to it until I could.
I just want to be able to lower it, and then if I want to take it to the track,
That's an
coilovers would be
awfully
nice.
expensive way of lowering the car, getting full-on coilovers. All you have to do is just get some lowering springs. Get some sport suspension for it.
You can't adjust it then.
get adjustable sway bars front and rear, and then get
No, no, no,
sports.
no, no, no,
If
no,
it was
no,
my
no,
car,
no.
that's what I would have done.
Adjust height, dampening.
Yeah, I know.
You can't do that with lowering
Get lowering
springs.
springs. There, you're talking about. So what you want to?
Can't
Once you
do
get it
that with
lower, then you want to
lowering
adjust it up
springs.
higher. What are you gonna do? You're gonna go
I'm
get
saying
out there with
you can play around with height.
a spring wrench when you come up to speed bump. Like you're not gonna change it. You're gonna set it to one thing and you're
No,
gonna leave it.
Mike, I've had coilovers before. I'm telling you, this is I know how they work.
Yeah, I know you know
And
how they
it's
work.
nice it's just being able to adjust it at, like in terms of height. Like if I go to the track, or if I want to lower it more, if I want to raise it up, like I can do that rather than just having to buy a whole new set of springs. And on top
I
of that,
understand what you're saying, man.
coilovers allow you to fit wider wheels.
Yeah. No, I understand what you're saying.
Imagine
I know you want
if
the
your repairs
adjustability.
get done, and you two are just sitting there arguing about coilovers.
That's what Pope's wondering. She's like, how much time is left on this thing? There's 3 minutes and 30 seconds left.
Fuck's sake.
No, I know why you want coilovers. You want to have the adjustability. My whole thought process is that I know how much difference like sway bars make. So that's easy. It's like 3 different bolt holes on a set of sway bars. So get adjustable sway bars front and rear. Then you can adjust the balance front and rear. And then get a well-reviewed, high-quality like set of springs that have good reviews and track testing and stuff like that. And trust the engineering that was put in behind those. Don't be like, oh, well, I'm going to backyard engineer my stuff better than the engineers that made this.
It's not backyard. KW is not a slouch company.
Yes, but your adjustments to the KW suspension will be backyard adjustments. It's you just taking a guess at like, well, I think I want it stiffer here, and I want it. So you're just guessing. Like I get that.
No,
That's
because
fine.
they tune the suspension for the car. And then the only changes I make is just minor dampening adjustments when I go to the track or something. If I'm on the road, I'm not going to be changing it every 2 days. Like, you find it what's comfortable on the road, leave it there. Go to the track, okay, now you can actually make adjustments if needed. If I want to add more camber, I have camber plates for that.
You think I'm disagreeing with you. I understand what you're saying. I'm telling you that in my thought process is that the things that I'm going to adjust aren't so much the like you can get adjustable dampers if that's what you want. I mean the cars that I had that I was messing with stuff, they were magnetic dampers and you adjust it with a switch anyways. And you could get the DSC Sport. There's a guy who made like he would make like tuning software for the magnetic dampers, so you could just like electronically tune it like you would an engine. So like to me that's the stuff that I would do, is if you had a car that had that kind of suspension, or if you wanted something with adjustable dampers, then I think that there's a lot to be gained before you get to the adjustable dampers. But if you want to have all the adjustability, I get it.
I don't understand. Like, I feel like you're just over.
I'm just raining on your parade.
Like,
That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm your dad.
No, not even that. Like, I just feel like it just doesn't. I feel like you're just trying to achieve something completely different.
So the reason that I think that way is because like when I did project car stuff, like I was too meticulous and I did things slowly, and I would have way over engineered like the settings and the adjustments instead of just seat of the pants feel. And then I just got to the point to where I was like, okay, so do I really know better than the people who put thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars of engineering behind tuning the suspension on this car at the Nürburgring or whatever they did? You know, am I really going to know better? Or like, do I just want some small adjustments? Like, hey, I'd like a little bit more oversteer or a little bit more front grip. So maybe adjustable sway bars would be a simplified way of doing that.
See, but I think that also depends on the car. If it's a Porsche, yeah, that makes sense. But a GRD6, like, the suspension from factory is not anything marvelous. Like, it's suspension. It does the job. Like, they tuned it in terms of spring rate and stuff to, you know, match what they were going for.
What tires do you have on the car?
215.
What brand, model?
The Primacy.
Are you going to be changing those before you get your coilovers on the car?
Yes. Actually, coilovers would come first, and then wheels probably come very soon after.
So then, no, not
So yeah,
not
they'd
immediately
be
after.
changing. No, like within, very quickly after. It's like within a month. Like what I did on the last car is I got the coils, I got the tow arms, I got all the stuff I needed to adjust it in terms of the alignment, because obviously when you lower it, it's gonna fuck up the whole geometry. So I got everything that was needed so I could adjust the alignment to where I wanted it to be.
Immediately out of the pits and get cut off. Again.
And then
Okay, let's just not with this guy. Let's just not. Let's not get another 20 minutes of damage right out of the pits. What are you doing? Now he's blocking the inside of the track.
This guy's
What
amazing.
is this guy doing? Wow. By the way, ice cold tires, rear tires are at like 1.4. Why wouldn't they wait until the end of the pit stop to change the tires?
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess it just doesn't know when you're gonna quit the optional repairs.
Yeah.
So I should have like had the boxes unchecked and then waited to the end and then check the tire boxes. Or the game could just not overcomplicate it and like let the tires be warm.
Anyway.
I just think of putting like coilovers on the car and still having literally Toyota Prius tires still on it, even if it's just for a little bit.
That's the
Like
point.
that's hilarious to me.
I mean, I don't see. The only difference visually is it's just lower.
See that you're. So just tell me
Like,
that
I'm
everything you're doing to the car is about hard parking it and not about actual making it
No,
drive
it's not.
better.
I'm not trying to like slam the car. I want it to be functional.
You don't want airbags and like 45 degrees of camber.
No,
I saw
definitely not.
somebody had a picture of a GTI that had done that or whatever, where they do the ridiculous stance thing, and the rear camber was so bad they had to take the passenger side rear wheel off anytime they wanted to put gas in the car.
Jesus Christ.
Like who's like, yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. That's so cool. I'm gonna do that every time I need to put gas in the car.
No, I want to do like the same sort of setup I had on the IS. Like the IS was like good low, but it was still functional. It handled incredibly well. I just want to do the same thing to this, but a set of coilovers would make it a lot more track friendly, because I do want to track this car. I was always worried about tracking the IS because it was 260,000 miles. That thing would blow the second I bought it on a track. But this car, like, I mean, it's meant to be on a track, so. Coilovers, all the adjustable stuff. And then that allows me to run the wheels I want, because I want to be able to run like 9.5-inch wheels.
Why can't you run those now?
Because with lowering
Is there more
springs,
clearance
it's
on the struts.
yeah, because the whole thing is a lot more compact. Like the stock suspension, even like the lowering springs are still the same size. So you really can't fit anything more than like 9, and then it still depends on offset. So coilovers just make it a lot easier. So I can do 9.5-inch, and then I can do like a 245, 55, depending like what offset I get on the wheels. Because in terms of the fitment, the car is rear limited because there's a little tab, like on the inside of the fender. You can always just cut that tab. You can't see, like if you cut it, you can't see it from the outside. So, like it wouldn't change anything visually. It's just annoying to have to do that anyway. But that just again comes down to what wheels and tires you choose. I just, after having gotten coilovers on 2 different cars now, like I just, at this point I'm like, why would I just...
These two guys are gonna crash up here. Do you see this?
Can't with the... where my camera's positioned right now.
These two guys were like door banging as they're like right up behind this other car. Like they're all gonna crash. Oh, yep, called it.
Oh. Yeah, so it's cool. I've definitely now. I will admit I'm definitely going overkill on coilovers, like the ones that I'm choosing.
You, man. You know I'm just poking at you.
I'm saying specifically the ones I'm choosing are definitely overkill because I can like I
No, I would do
the ones I
that.
had on
I
the
wouldn't.
IS.
If you're gonna get something, get the right ones. Like I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm gonna get coilovers and then go get eBay Chinese stuff, and it's
Oh,
like
no,
to
no,
me
no, no,
then
I'm not
that's
saying
even
that.
worse. But yeah, I would have
No,
done
I'm not
what you
saying that.
did.
Like
I'd get the nice ones.
I can still get like quality coilovers, but I'm saying the ones that I'm getting specifically are two-way adjustable. So
Yeah.
I can adjust compression, or yeah, I can do slow bump and dump. But ones I had before, like on the IS, were only rebound adjustable. So the compression's a bit more overkill. Um, I think it's worth. I mean, it's KW. Like, it's gonna be great quality. So,
How much we bet
we
this guy
fall
tries to
into-
crash us in turn one?
probably.
Have PTSD passing people around the outside up here. No, I'm the same way about the stuff that I buy. When I do buy upgrades or things, like I try not to like do too many mid steps. Like if you're gonna do something, go ahead and do it right.
Exactly, and that's why like I do it once, do it right. You know, I don't have to go back in there and worry about it again.
Yeah. Like
Like,
I
that's
had
why
plans.
I'm trying to just like
No, go
trying
ahead.
to just like gather up all the parts that like I need. You know, like I know I need coilovers. I have to get either lower or upper control arms in the rear to adjust the suspension because there's no stock adjustment on this car. So I have to be able to do that so I can actually get my alignment where I want it to. And then just other tidbits, toe arms, all that stuff. And then like I think after I totaled it up, it ends up being like $4,000. So not great. Wheels I wanted are also $4,000. But I called and it would take, I think if I were to order them like today, they wouldn't get here until December or January.
Yeah.
Kind of sucks ass because there's some like actual like Japanese forged raised wheels. So kind of sucks ass, but I don't know. I'll probably just get something like a decent wheel, good quality, and I don't know. Maybe I'll upgrade to that wheel at some other time, but. Yeah, it's just definitely never cheap, especially with suspension stuff. Like you can't cheap out. Like you get what you pay for, truly. So, you know, you gotta buy something quality. And every time I hear that somebody buys like these cheap ass coilovers, they're like, "Oh, they're all made in the same factory." Well, clearly not, because your coilovers are fucking blown out. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's just thought process. Honestly, my thought process probably would have been closer to yours when I was your age. And I think, I'm trying to remember, I think I had plans and stuff of what I was considering doing with the Camaro, but I had at least made my mind up that like, I was going to go take it to autocross and do some track day stuff because I knew it was a good car. Like, it's not like I bought, I mean, there's nothing wrong with GR86, but I didn't buy a Miata or a GR86. I got something that had, you know, more performance potential, and it was in magazine reviews saying it was very similar to, or at least performance numbers and track numbers. It was putting up very similar numbers to Cayman GT4s, and so like I knew that this was going to be a lot more car than I probably was ready to ring at 10 tenths, and so I wanted to get to where I was good enough to do that. So then when I started doing autocrossing and I saw other people that had similar cars or lesser cars and they were doing autocross stuff and they were just way faster, that's when I realized, okay, even though I think I'm a much better than average driver, there's levels to this that I had not personally experienced before until you go to a competitive atmosphere like that and you see it. And then you're like, okay, so I don't need to be like all the guys you see on the forums that are like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, first thing I'm going to do to my Camaro is I'm going to change the brake pads out to Stop Tech DTC this, that, and the other because I had those on a Mustang one time and they're really good pads, and I like talking about these things like they know what they are and they know what they're going to perform like and that they must be better than what's on the Camaro from the factory. And then when you do the actual research yourself, and you're like, what's on the car from the factory? It's like, does it have some sort of, you know, AC Delco street pads? No, it's got an Italian set of Ferrado brakes that are spec'd by Brembo specifically that are performance pads. They are not street pads. And then people are like, well, they brake dust too much. And it's like, okay, well, so then do you want street pads or do you want actual race pads? Because they gave you good quality performance pads. And you're like, well, I don't like the brake dust. So it's just, when people try to backyard engineer stuff and act like they know better than people who spent a lot of money developing the car, it blows my mind away. That's why whenever somebody would get that car and they'd be like, I need to change this, this, and this, and I'm going to put like a spoiler on the back so it'll have more rear downforce and I can adjust it and do this, and I'm going to get coilover. It's like, have you driven the car stock? And then if you have, let me see lap times, let me see autocross. How fast are you actually driving it? Because if you're 5 seconds off the pace and other people driving the stock car at the same track, what are you making all these upgrades for?
Right. No, I get that completely.
Yeah, but it's
the thing
but
is,
if you,
I always
if you
wanted to
enjoy
drive the car
feeling
on the track.
stuff, then it's, yeah, like, that's not what it's about. It's not, nobody's competing against you in your GR86, and so it's whatever you enjoy. It's your money. But yeah,
No,
just
and I
my
get, like,
personality
it's
is way
not-
too data driven.
It's not solely just like, oh, you know, I'm doing it to like get lap time at the
Yeah.
track. Like, the main part is I want to get it to look how I want it to look. The nice side effect is that it just happens that it's probably you know, done correctly, it can probably perform better at the track.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. What did the did you ever watch that YouTube channel, the guys Savage Geese? They were gonna do a thing
I've
with
seen
the
this before, yeah.
what suspension did they put on there? They were talking about doing coilovers or something, weren't they?
Which case?
They had like
I
a
think I saw one of the videos.
they had like a
Savage.
TCR driver that was helping them test everything. I thought.
You're talking about the GR86, right?
Yeah, yeah. It may have been a guy who actually races GR86s, like an IMSA or something, that he was doing something with them. Alright, so I do have everybody's permission to just chase lap times if I want to, just for the hell of it.
I guess.
Like, is somebody going to be upset if I wad the car up, like, at this point, or does it really not matter?
I think it's just, it doesn't matter.
Whoa, what is that guy doing? Did y'all see that?
No, I'm watching Savage Geese.
What a nut job. He went off the
Well,
track
they
and
did
then
a-
came all the way back across, and then he drove into the side of me.
Did an AP Racing big breakout. That's the first one.
Interesting. Now I do
mean, the brakes on
imagine
this car
like
are
they
phenomenal.
probably have. Well, like if you're doing track day, then they'll get hot. But like if you're just doing
Right.
Canyon Blast, it's not an issue because you're not gonna work them that hard
Well,
for that long of time.
It's funny you say that because my brakes actually did overheat on the mountain drive.
I'd be
Now,
willing to
to be
bet what
fair-
happened was the brake fluid foiled. That would be one of the
It was
first
the
things
fluid.
I would
It
do
was
to
the
the
fluid.
car is put Castrol SRF brake fluid in it. It's like the
Yeah,
gold
because
standard brake
it comes
fluid.
with top 3 from factory.
Mhm.
Kind of goes to show that they don't always do everything best from factory.
Well, I think there was so that was literally the one and only thing on the SS1LE that like they didn't do, and I think that there was some sort of. I don't think it was just a cost savings thing, because like obviously they could have cost saved everywhere else. There was someone who explained the reasoning behind it, who actually worked in automotive production plants or like managing setting up car production plants, and he had a reason for it. It was something like Castrol. It's not that they wouldn't let them do it. It may have had something to do with like GM had contracts with like Mobil 1, like as some of their fluid provider stuff, and they didn't really do brake fluid, so they weren't allowed to like go get a competitor's stuff as factory fill. But they did have like in the owner's manual, and like there was a what do they call it? There was some part of the owner's manual. It was like a track. I can't remember the terminology, but it was like a track readiness guide type thing. And and they said like, here's what you need to do if you're tracking the car X amount every X amount of miles or track sessions. You need to make sure you flush the differential fluid out, and here's what you need to put in there. And if you're tracking the car, you need to run this spec engine oil, and stuff like that. And it was like the first thing on there was you have to change the brake fluid and put performance brake fluid in there. And it said, like, it even kind of hinted at which one. It said with approximate wet boiling point of this number, and the numbers that they spec'd in there matched what Castrol SRF is.
Okay.
But the thing about when people go look at brake fluids, the catchy number they put in catalogs is like I think it's dry boiling point, not wet boiling point. But if you look at the wet and dry boiling point on brake fluids, usually like really good performance stuff is up around the 500s. And so SRF does not have the highest dry boiling point, but it has like the highest wet boiling point. And what that means is that as the fluid ages, like over time it's going to absorb moisture and stuff in the air. And so as, you know, if you don't flush the thing out and change it every time you're at the racetrack like it's an actual race car, then it's going to retain its boiling point better. So like say you just flush out your factory fill that you got in the car, put in SRF and kind of leave it. Like SRF's going to be the best option to do that with. So that's what I did on the Camaro. And like I would occasionally just bleed it a little bit and top it off. But like I went a year and a half, 2 years, several times without doing anything to it. And it's always going to perform way better than stock fluid did anyways. But there was one track day where I started to feel like, hey, okay, maybe it's starting to boil the brakes a little bit. But I also had an experience in mind that I could compare to. Like I did an autocross training, driver's training thing when I first got in the car, where there was like a professional driver teaching me how to do autocross stuff. And like in that thing, they did this quick back-to-back laps of an autocross course where you're running this short little track where there's never any top speed on the car, you're never cooling the brakes off, and then you park the car right after you ran a lap and let the brakes sit there and cook, and then you go do another one. So it was like a testing bed for just cooking your brakes intentionally. And they all talked about how everybody's brakes are going to fade, you're going to feel your brakes fade, this is what you're trying to pay attention to. And like even my car was one of the last ones to actually boil the brakes, but once you did it, you knew, okay, this is what this feels like. And I could easily see if somebody did that at the track, they'd be like, oh, I need brake pads, but it's not brake pads. Because
No, from what I've heard, the pads are always fine. I mean, people still recommend it as like, because obviously there's still some sort of street, you know, capability that they give, or that they kind of give into on the pads. But obviously it is a car that is meant to, you know, you can go to the track and run it, and it should be fine.
Yep.
It's, you know, for how long is a different question. But the fluid is always the number one thing people say for when you go to the track with this car, is because otherwise the fluid just overheats way too quickly. And then pads if you really need it. But obviously people are like, you really don't need a big brake hit, which is true, you don't.
Yeah.
But braking force comes more down to the tires, if anything.
Yeah, your friction limit's not going to be from the brakes.
Right. So, but I mean,
anyways,
if you get to the point, you know, where you're pushing more power or whatever, like, yeah, it's nice to have a big brake hit.
Yeah. But all
anyway.
my blabbering was basically just saying that if you do it, almost everybody that I see that doesn't really put the proper amount of research in, they get like some Motul like 600 something or another, which has a really good dry boiling point, but people talk about how you can feel the difference in it after like 1 or 2 track days if you don't change it out if you don't flush it out after that. Like you can feel that it's toast.
Okay. That's good
So
to
if you
know.
get brake fluid,
Yeah.
just get Castrol SRF, and it will be more expensive than other brake fluid, but still, it's like $50
Get what you
for
pay
like
for.
a big bottle. Yeah.
I mean, if you can have it in there for a while, it's worth it. So like,
Yeah.
you know.
But you would not believe the amount of people that I'd see that would complain about the price of Castrol SRF brake fluid, which is $50 for a bottle that is plenty enough to do the whole car, and it's also a little bit bigger bottle than most like brake fluid bottles are. So you get more fluid, but it was about twice the price of other brake fluids. But those same people would spend $200 on LED side marker lights to replace the reflectors on the car, but then they complain about the brake fluid that actually matters about how it performs. And I was like, you know, just what kind of sense are you using if you're trying to say you're going to save money on your brake fluid on your performance car, but you're going to get silly LED side marker lights just because they're cool?
Yeah, who would get silly LED side markers?
I mean, I got them too, but I also got SRF brake fluid. But the people that do all that stuff and like, oh, I don't like that, or they're like all about this for performance, that, but I don't like these pads because they make too much brake dust. And so then they get some trashy pad that doesn't make brake dust. And it's like, are you kidding me?
See, for me, the only upgrade I wanted to do with pads, I was just gonna wait till these ones go out. Is I wanted to get the TRD pads. Apparently, they have just like a little bit more bite than the stock ones. About the same amount of dust, if not a little bit less, or something, which is kind of nice. Even if it's more, whatever. Like, it would just be nice to have the extra stopping power. Yeah, I think, but for the fronts alone, I think it's like 150 just for those two pads.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure it's great because it's TRD stuff, so you can't go wrong there. They do have a TRD big brake kit for this car. It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
Is it
But
4-piston?
I think so. Look it up right now.
So that was the thing with the Camaro. Like the Camaro in that track package, it came with 6 pistons in the front, 4 pistons in the rear. So like it didn't need a big brake kit. And people are like, oh, I'm gonna get slotted rotors, or I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. And it's like, nope, you need brake fluid, you need the right brake fluid, and nothing else. And they would do all those other things. Yeah, they would do all those other things, and they still wouldn't have changed the brake fluid. And it's like you're just clueless.
It's 4-pot and 2-pot.
Yeah.
So 4 front, 2 rear.
It's like buying $5,000 coilovers and not changing the economy car tires off of it.
Well, obviously I'm going to. The tires I had on the IS300 or the Continental DWS, were some all-season ones. They were like super good tires. Like as soon as I put them on to the IS, I was like, whoa, this grip level is way different. Even for all seasons, like they were incredibly grippy.
Yeah.
So I think I'd probably do something like that again, given where I live.
So see,
or maybe
like what you did, probably if I was in your scenario, what I would have done, save the money on the coilovers, get like a good set of reviewed springs, adjustable sway bars so I can adjust the car a little bit, get a good set of dampers, maybe that aren't adjustable, but just a good set of reviewed, seem like they're good all around. Not going to be too much of a sacrifice on the road to make it terrible on the track. And then I would have saved the money so I could get a second set of wheels and tires, and then had like my all-season tires and just have them put up on the wall in the garage or whatever, and then have my summer tires.
I'm going to keep my stock wheels.
Yeah.
I already have that. Like I have the stock wheels, so like that's why I'm just debating whether I want to get all seasons or if I just want to do some summer tires or something.
Yeah.
Because I mean, even the premium version of like, or the premium trim of my car comes with summer tires. It comes with the PS4S.
Yeah.
So I guess I can get away with it. It's just a matter of whether I want to do it or not. We'll see. But definitely have to get some bigger tires for the bigger wheels. Still a lot of like visual. I literally just bought fucking a nose piece for the car. It's made by Tom's, like some JDM cheaper brand for Toyotas and shit.
Yeah.
It was like $700. Literally outrageous. But I wanted it. I'm not in a huge rush for the coilovers.
Yeah.
So I'll just buy some things here and there, save up for them in the meantime. And I'm just itching to like do stuff to this car, but like just trying to initially save up directly for coilovers is like I can't buy anything else. I'd rather enjoy it, put little things on it here and there, and then coilovers come whenever they come.
Yeah, I get it. It's just personal preference stuff. It's not like it's not like it matters. It's not like you're running in some stock spec, GR86 class. You do what you like. Spend your money however you want to. But yeah, I'd be giving you a lot harder of a time if you like did all that and then were like, I'm gonna get this set of $2,500 coilovers off of eBay instead of the $4,000 good ones, and it's like, yeah, that would be worse. And if you had no plans on like changing the tires or anything like that, I'd give you grief about that too.
Of course. I mean, on the IS,
I'd pick on you
did,
over anything. We know that.
Yeah, I know. On the IS, I did run the stock tires after I did the coilovers. It was proper. I mean, the only like I did coilovers, camber, bushings, tow arms, all the bushings, like all of them. Everything was poly. So it went from feeling like a regular Lexus to like an actual proper sporty car.
Yeah.
Even though it was still heavy, it's 3,300 pounds. Like with the stock wheels, it still handled fantastic. I had spacers on it, so at least it didn't look like the wheels were sunken in. Like they looked like it fit properly. That was just because I didn't have obviously the money for all that suspension stuff and wheels. The wheels
people are definitely getting worse at driving the further this race goes on. Like, definitely.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, they're getting tired. How do we still have 3 hours left?
I'm gonna try to do a couple of quick laps. I've been goofing off, and I think I got passed by P2 earlier.
I gotta check on the launch. They said their bigger rocket is designed to hold 20,000 pounds or 20,000 kilograms of payload into lower orbit. Pretty cool. They haven't built that large rocket yet. They're just doing this one. Yeah.
Sure somebody sets the windshield tear off for whoever drives next. It's not me.
No, I like a dirty windshield actually.
I think I've left it on for this last one or something.
Yeah, it's on. Lando Norris is streaming. Hold on.
Wow. Parked in the middle of the bus stop. Literally parked in the middle of the bus stop. Impressive.
What the fuck? I just rewinded. What the hell?
He's literally just sitting on like, not even on the apex of the first turn in. It's like anybody who's just like, oh, whatever it is, they'll be out of the way, comes flying in there and tries to hit it, they're gonna get smashed.
What the hell?
Is he still there? Or is he moved?
Moved.
He just pulled over to get a nice screenshot of his car. Did he run out of gas or
Just
something?
Oh, I just rewinded. He was literally going normal, and then he just completely just kept braking and just stopped.
Oh, like he hit the brakes, like his pedals failed and went full brake or something?
I don't know. He was there for like 5 seconds, and then he just started going again.
Yeah, it's got to be hardware.
I hope so.
Interesting.
Okay. Let's see if I can get a 31. Keep hitting traffic.
It feels like the server's so slow. It's like like when I ran practice yesterday, I was literally in the 31s, like for my first like however many laps. Like it was not, it was fine. I feel like I'm like going fast, but then it's like 33-0.
I like that on 24-hour too. I don't know if that has something to do with like track condition or what, but
Maybe, I don't know, marbles. Who knows?
Who's next? Who's doing the next thing?
I'm cool to get in. You want? I don't know. When's the last time you'd be willing to run? Oh. Actually, I don't know. Mike, are you doubling? I thought that was in the air, right?
potentially. I might shouldn't, but
Well, assuming he doesn't. When would be like the last? What time is it for you right now, Philip?
It's only 7:10. And
That's 7. Okay, so I don't know. When's the last time you'd be willing to run?
I don't really mind, to be honest.
honestly, since I mean we are where we are in the race, I'm gonna go ahead and I'll start the next stint, and then if for some reason like I have to stop it, I'll just short pit. Like I don't think it's gonna be the end of the world if we short pit, you know. You guys okay with that? Just that way I can get more seat time to get you guys to rest and relax or whatever, and then you guys can finish it, because I probably will be away for the rest of the race.
Yeah, it's
me?
cool. I mean, I do think we can still win this.
I know, right? It only takes everybody in front of us having 15 minutes of damage or more.
More than that.
Yeah, we had a lot more than that. I guess we had like a 10 minute, and then we had a 15 minute, or then we had like a 20 minute.
Yeah, we are 22 laps down.
I think I'm hitting next lap. Somebody check for me, I got my crew chief off.
Yep, next lap. Ooh.
Learned my lesson last time.
You might be able to do 2 laps.
Worst case, I think he'd have enough fuel to at least coast in.
I'll probably just go with it this time.
I mean, it's at 2.1 at the moment, so you should be fine to do 2 laps.
Well then, yeah, I'll do one more. Oh yeah, I see it. So like that wasn't a track cut, and that was like right on the edge of where I was before, and I was getting like track cuts, so it's gotta be right there. Sometimes it feels like it's further. Strange. Yeah, I've definitely got nothing more of that. You said my tear off is turned on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Saw that coming.
I don't trust you. Watch him turn in.
I'll give it to you, Matt. I'll slow up before the corner.
It's got 4 new tires and stuff. Good, thanks.
In comparison, this rocket's only meant for, I think they said like 1,000 kilograms of payload. For them to go from this one to their big one, which is 20,000, big jump.
Interesting.
That was a good stint, considering you literally talked your weight the entire way through.
That's Pope's way of saying y'all annoyed the shit out of me and you wouldn't shut up.
I don't know how you did it.
Well, I was off the pace.
Doesn't matter. I mean, I think you were still quicker than most of the guys here, so.
No, I'd occasionally look over there and like see what's the leader and stuff doing, and like I wasn't gaining time on them like we usually do.
Radio check.
Mike, she's trying to give you a compliment. Take it.
Okay. What's that?
Basically, I mean, it's not much of a compliment, but you're a little bit faster than me.
You're the fastest guy in split 3. It's a really competitive split 3. You know, there's only 400 iRating cars in
There's
here.
traffic behind. Take care. Yellow flag. Blue flag.
Or, well, there was. They may not be in here anymore.
Blue flag.
Blue flag. You're hilarious, Jim.
You see all that stuff about the F1 esports guy that opened up his cheats folder?
No.
He was like in the middle of like I think he was about to start like a league race or something. And then he like accidentally pulled up his folder, like his file explorer, and it was just open on the cheats.
Jeez.
And so I guess he came out and apologized. He was like, well, like, I don't actually use it. You know, like, I've actually been working with EA and Codemasters, like, to try and, like, you know, provide them with data on it. It's like, okay.
Sure you were.
Like, why were they open during the league race?
Clear left.
He also, like, as soon as he did it, like, the smirk on his face was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, he like... 16 minutes till launch, baby. Assuming it doesn't get delayed again.
Where's it going to? Is it just going into space? And
Just orbit, yeah.
If y'all want to
It's
see
not
it
carrying a
launch, I'll
payload.
launch a P2 here in a couple of minutes.
Please do.
Please don't.
Do it.
You know, sometimes being a part of a team that's big enough for people to remember our name is kind of not a good thing. I miss that anonymity where you used to could just punt people off, and if they didn't remember your name, it didn't matter.
You could just join ART for a day, punt people off, and leave.
I don't even think they exist anymore.
I know they don't. I feel like occasionally I see all the guys from ART like in a thread on Twitter, and they're just like, "Let's bring it back."
Oh, jeez.
And I'm like,
Blue
oh.
flag. On your right.
I remember I was on GTR,
Still there.
and they had like a huge exodus of people like
Still
3
there.
days after I joined.
He's still
So they
there.
all went to EXR, and I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll go too.
Still there. Clear right.
And then I went to ART.
And then 3 seconds after that, I was like, actually, how about you come over here instead of ART?
Left side.
You're like,
clear
so here's the
left.
thing, you're
Slow
gonna buy a
across
PC,
car
Matt.
ahead.
Yeah, right.
I was like, oh, okay.
On your left. Clear left.
I really thought they were going to punch each other.
We're gonna punt each other, yeah. I figured that was a good possibility. These guys in 9th and 10th are gonna be so mad when I just like try to drive right by them again.
Your lap time was at 1:35.6.
Yeah, we've got 8th, 9th, and 10th.
I mean, I'm in 11th. I'm allowed to.
Pretty much.
You
We're
just
not
said it
gonna
from
discuss
5
how many
miles back on
laps
the
down
start.
I am on them, but
Send it. Don't even break into the next corner. Just, I mean, that's what he's there for.
The leader's just done a 133.2.
Charge the battery up a little bit more, and then we're gonna burn it down for like the next 10 laps.
That lap time was 133.3. The guy ahead has just done a 132.9. There's a group of slower cars ahead. Left side. Blue flag, hold your line. Clear left. Left side. Clear left. There's an incident in turn 6.
It's the sound of the police.
It's always comforting to come through that corner with someone facing you head on. Oh no, I got a track cut.
What about track limits? There's an incident in turn 5. Slower class car ahead. Car right. Clear right. Blue flag. Blue flag.
Guy who crashed into us earlier just manually disconnected. I don't know if that means he's just getting out because his teammate's in or what.
Everything's a go for the launch.
That lap was a 133.9. Blue flag. Coming up on a slower class car. car right. Clear right. Car left. Still there. Still there. Hold your line. Blue flag. Clear left. Blue flag. Sector 2 is 1.2 seconds off the pace. Slower class car ahead. Incident in turn 6. On your right side's clear. Car left. Hold your line. Clear left. The car ahead's pitting now. Coming up on a slower class car. Car left. Still there. Clear left. Blue flag. You're approaching a group of slower cars. Blue flag left side. Still there. Clear left. Slower car ahead. This guy's racing us for position. He won't get a blue flag. Right side. Clear right. Slower class car ahead. Car right. Right side's clear. That was 135.2. There's an incident in International Horseshoe. You're coming up on some slower cars. They're class leaders in this group. Left, clear left. Blue flag.
They just had to pause the launch at 1 minute and 10 seconds because there's a boat within their launch radius.
Car left. Clear left. Left side. On your left.
Like a space
Clear
boat.
left.
It's crazy.
Blue flag.
They're like, yeah, we're just gonna wait to see if we can clear them out before. Alright.
Coming up on a slower class car. Car right. Blue flag. Clear right. You've used half your fuel. You're coming up on a
You know
slower
that boat's
car.
probably just somebody that's trying to get a kick-ass view.
The stewards have warned us about track limits. Keep it between the lines.
No, Mikey, no, no.
got it and slow me down at the bus stop. Might be a decent lap. Oh please, that was not an off track.
Just had a warning for cutting the track.
Game doesn't lie.
I think it does.
It's getting too greedy with your lap time, brother.
Hold your line. Slower class car ahead. Hold your line. Car left. Clear left. Car left.
Jeez.
Car left. Clear left. Clear left.
I don't understand. I said that was gonna be a fast lap.
The leader, Ruger, is pitting. Coming up on a slower class car.
Well, the engine's lit up, and then as soon as it hit zero, they just shut off.
Left side.
Really?
Yeah.
Hold your line. You're still there.
So it didn't take off?
You're still there.
Yeah.
Clear
But
left.
that now it's definitely getting pushed off, but
That's the best lap in your class.
I think they said if it gets pushed off within the final 60 seconds or whatever, then they have to delay it.
Slower class car ahead.
What the fuck is that guy doing?
What a
Car
train
right.
wreck this guy is, man.
Oh
Still there.
my god.
Right side's clear. On your right.
Brother.
Clear right.
Brother. Sort it out.
He is 1.1k, but compared to others in here, that's pretty high.
I'm still not sure, like, just driving in the middle of the track
Yep.
is acceptable.
Hope says he's not confident. My gosh, I've got to stop getting track.
The stewards have warned us for
I got one
the
on the
track.
inside there.
Keep it between the white lines.
So you've got 6 laps left after this, I think. If I do the next
Turn 1.
stint map, and then I'll either do a double, or you can take over till
There's
the
an
end.
incident in International Horseshoe.
I guess, yeah.
What would you prefer? Like, I mean, I don't know if I have to drive, but I feel like I should. But it's up to you guys.
Just lock the rear.
I'd say do a stint, and then if you feel good to do another one, go for it, and then I'll just finish out.
Okay. So that's basically what I just said.
Are y'all watching this guy? I just saw him swerving around on the track all by himself.
This was the guy that turned into you at the kink, and then blamed it on you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he started shouting at you.
To be fair, it looks like he's turning in on somebody even when there's no car there, so he's like swerving around like he's trying to dodge an invisible car.
They're leading GTV.
Good lords.
Okay, so I'll be back in like
Slower
5
class
minutes.
car ahead. 10 minutes of fuel remaining. Car left. Still there. Clear left. Car right. Clear right. Keep it within the track limits. You're coming up on a slower car. slower class car, still there. Blue flag, clear left. Car right, clear right. That's 5 minutes of fuel left. Slower class car ahead. On your left, clear left. Clear left. Blue flag.
Two more laps, maybe one more lap.
Yeah, I see.
You've just done a 135.1. Slower cars ahead, including the class leader. Left side. Clear left. Incident in turn 6.
Well, I just did the same thing. That's a lot of damage. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I was too worried about him coming back on the track. Sorry.
Yeah.
Called into the pits for repairs.
Now we just need Matt to do the exact same thing.
Left side.
Yeah, this one's gonna
Clear
be
left.
bad. Steering's real crooked.
Blue flag.
Coming in this lap, obviously.
You just can't put this much pressure on me.
2
thought I
minutes
was
of fuel
next.
remaining. Car right.
You are.
Still there.
it'll be
Right
fine.
side's clear.
Yeah, we'll have plenty of time to decide in the pits, I can guarantee it.
Watch your speed limit in the pits. Pit lane speed limit is
What a lame way to
88
crash.
kilometers per hour.
I didn't even do it trying to go get a fastest lap or anything. Or a faster lap. I've already got the fastest lap.
Box in 5, 4.
With Mike, it's
3,
always like 2
2,
laps before he's got a
1.
pit.
Box now.
Nah, not the big one, wasn't. That's not so bad. 5 minutes are required, 2 minutes 30 seconds of optional. How was that? Compared to like
2
yours was
liters
20
left.
minutes and it was the same impact.
Nah, you just hit
Kruger
like
is
the
leading
front
the
right
race.
corner a little bit. I went smack into the wall, head on.
Maybe it was just
It must have been 30, 40 miles an hour.
It must have just been my angle. It didn't look like a hard hit. It just like it looked like you tapped it and then the front end just like fell off. It's like, okay. Seems a bit ridiculous, but
worse. Oh, geez. Just as we were that was P10 who spun in front of us.
was it really?
We were
Well, how many
just
laps
about to
behind
get a
were
lap
we?
back.
Oh, really?
Only 1 lap, yeah. We were about to get that lap back.
Sorry. We're trying everything we can to like now see like their car now it's showing black like they had an issue. I don't understand what Race Labs is doing when the number goes gray. Have you seen that?
Well, I think it means they're in the pits, but I'm not sure.
Like theirs did it for a second and then it went back. See like P2 it's showing that and there's no way they're in the pits. It's just like it disconnects or something.
Yeah, I don't know them.
So weird.
Maybe we should find out one day.
I get the feeling that ours has probably gone gray quite a few times for other people.
What's happened to WTR? Oh, I've gone grey again. Are they in the pits? Yeah, of course they are.
We live in the pits in this race.
It's our favourite place.
So much
nice
for
here, it's
like
quiet.
this being the makeup for the 24 hour.
Yeah, Jesus. Well, there's always the next one.
And I don't know if they're gonna try and do the caution thing for split 3, seeing what I've seen so far. First of all, I just think they won't call any cautions. Second of all, if they did, there's gonna be a million, and there's never gonna be any like green flag laps. Which maybe that's what this group needs, is a lot of slow paced laps to just keep their cars in one piece. Alright. To get my mouse hooked up so it's charging. Isn't there supposed to be a way you can like shut your stream off remotely? I thought there was a way to do that without having to be... If I'm out of the house.
Called not paying your electric bill.
Did you pull out of the pits?
Yeah, it said the repairs were done.
There's traffic behind. Take care.
Still
It
Rico.
must have been the
Slow
required
fast
because
car
your
ahead.
front wheel is
Yeah.
still dangling. So yeah, you probably need to come
Yeah.
back in and get the optional.
But I waited for it. It said optional. It was counting down.
I've had it
Car right.
I've had it do
Clear
it to
right.
where like when I touched the gas one time accidentally and it immediately like the thing went away, so like I'd inched forward in the box and it thought I was leaving, so it canceled all the optional repairs and said, you know, go. So
Because it
imagine
said
if you come back in, it'll show however many minutes.
it was
are
like
left in
5
optional
minutes,
repairs.
and it's only been like
Yeah, that definitely had to have been
2
required. But like if it inched forward somehow, who knows? The way the game's been today.
Fuck.
It's funny watching
mean,
the TV camera view though, because your passenger side front tire is literally like dangling in and got like 20 degrees of negative camber. It looks like it's barely hanging on. Does it feel
can you
crazy?
make yeah, it does.
Yeah, okay.
It's doing bad. Can you make sure it's not going to change tyres again?
yeah, I already checked.
Cheers.
That poor car.
Slower car ahead. This guy's on
beat
our
up
lap.
and
He won't
rebuilt
get a
like
blue
3
flag. He's
times
racing us for
now.
position.
Twice by me.
Like,
Blue
please
flag.
put him out of his misery.
The chassis is gonna get retired and hung up on a wall as an ornament at the shop.
So I guess they're seeing if. So I guess what
Watch your
happened is
speed.
the internal computer, like, tripped an alarm
Engage limiter. Box
or something
in 30,
at like
180
0.5 seconds to tea time
Yikes.
while the engines were already running. So it just shut off on its own. So they're
Box
trying to
in
investigate why,
5,
and
4,
they're topping off the
3,
propellant and everything
2,
to see if they can go again.
1.
Because I think their
Box
launch
now.
window is still for another hour, but I doubt it. They reset the countdown timer to 45 minutes.
That's crazy. Did you just go again?
Yeah, the guy pulled his thing up.
Do you not have the little counter that shows you how many seconds of optional repairs?
Yeah, it said 2, it went down to 0, and he pulled
There's
his
a
thing
car
up.
approaching. Don't cross the white line.
Fucking hell. What is
What?
going
Blue
on?
flag. You're coming up on a slower class car.
What is happening?
Change the tires. See if like that'll trigger something. They just like so
The
we
guy
had
ahead
one
is Tucker.
crew member who's been drinking ever since the first accident, and he's got like half a lug nut on this front tire, and so it's not really damaged. Just got didn't put the wheel on. Severely cross-threaded the center lock.
Like in Days of Thunder when they're all eating ice cream.
What in the world? Here, I'm gonna go watch your stream and see what it says on your screen.
Clear left. Blue flag. 132.2.
And he's
On the
got
TV cam, it looks fine,
have the little counter. That's crazy.
but I doubt it. They reset the.
It just says
Well,
pit
yeah,
lane.
time to
It says
45
pit
minutes.
service time, and it does not show her damage
crazy.
counter. Where's her little damage counter thing?
Like,
Did you
I'm
just
not
go again?
kidding. The steering is like
Reset the.
45 degrees to the left.
Oh
zero-
yeah, we can see the front tire.
Yeah, we can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, so change the
mean, from the
tires and see if
exterior,
that triggers something. I don't understand what's going on. Like,
Computer. Yeah, I
like
set it,
tripped.
so it should
Look out for the
change.
pit speed limit.
Not going to change.
Activate limiter.
Only
Box
done.
in 13.
Do it to where-
180 feet.
did the I'm at do that without having to be. It does. So I'm
Box
looking
in
on her stream,
5,
and it
4,
shows optional
3,
repairs is
2,
completely gone. Do I need to
1.
get back in the car
Box now.
since it had like more optional repairs for
Alright.
me or something?
To get my mouse hooked
Oh.
up so it's charged.
That we switched when it happened for me.
Okay, so is
When
it
it
still
happens-
showing?
yeah.
It's not showing any repairs, but it is doing.
Okay, let me jump in
There's
and see
supposed
if
to
it
be
shows
a way
me
you
something.
can like shut your stream off remotely. I thought there was a way to do that without having to be.
I'm out of the house. It just shows driver
Called not
swap
paying
and
your
pit
electric bill.
service time. Matt, is the wheel still
Did you
crooked?
pull out of the pits?
Yeah, it said.
I mean, I can't see if you turn it anyway. I think it defaults into the pit. So it's just showing straight.
What is going on? Is there not a damage thing on here?
We all
Okay,
look
so it-
straight in the pits.
It looks like it's telling me to leave here. I'm getting out of the car. Alright, you want to try to
2
get back in and see
litres
if it does
remaining.
anything?
Sorry about that, 224.
Right, should I go?
Let me see if I can see the front tire. I'm trying to switch cameras here. It looks like it's on straight. Give it a shot. Go for it.
No. This is fucked. It's broken. It's broken.
It's showing. Is it showing broken again?
Yeah, no, it's definitely, yeah. Her wheel's 45 degrees to the left.
There's a car behind.
See,
Stay
now
inside
on
the
my
line.
screen,
You're
it's
approaching
showing
a group of
properly.
slower class cars.
So it's not showing damage on my screen. I wonder if it has something to do with like me
Like
getting
inside
in the
or
car.
outside?
On the outside, the TV broadcast
flag.
camera, it looks completely.
No, that's what I was saying. I didn't see it on the outside before she just came in. But on the inside, her wheel is, like, her steering wheel is still crooked.
Oh. So when I was watching the TV broadcast camera up until this last time when I just got in the car, I could see her front wheel, like literally negative camber. It
Car
looked like it
left.
was dangling off
Clear
the car.
left.
It looked completely
Okay,
trashed.
I have an idea. Hope if you just bin it again, maybe it'll fix it.
Scrape, yeah, just like scrape the wall in the entry to the pits or
Car
something.
Clear
Hope
left.
this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. We just asked you to crash the car. Now you can just scrape a wall, or you can just go whole hog if you want to, and return to pits. Tow it. Just send it straight through the bus stop, right
See
in the
that tire wall?
barrier.
It doesn't exist. There's no chicane there, Pope.
So the steering wheel is just out of alignment on your screen now? Is that all it is?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not handling particularly well.
But is the steering wheel straight?
No.
See, now what? I don't get it. So now the steering wheel looks straight on my screen when I'm in your cockpit, and then the front wheel looks fine. She's thinking about it.
Speed limit in pits.
Watch it say like 5 seconds of
Gauge
damage,
limiter.
and then
Box
send
in,
her back out.
1380
It's
feet.
gonna like force us to retire. This is hilarious. It's like, don't you people get the hint? Just quit already.
Box in 5, 4, 3, 2.
What if we just ran out
Okay,
of
so
line?
now her tire's crooked. Now I see the tire's crooked again.
Honestly, it's not repairing. There's
It's
no
still
timer.
not repairing.
There's no pit stop adjustment thing. We're gonna have to end it.
What is
'cause
going on?
That's insane. Let me look it up.
Somebody, just
Should
go
I-
ahead and
Should I get out?
go. I would.
Yeah,
You know what I would do?
see?
Well, Matt's looking it up. Just like switch the little custom cameras, like you're gonna take a screenshot. Go ahead and take a picture of the front wheel hanging off of it. If it is on your screen, it is on mine. And then we can just have that as our retirement update whenever you post it on social media, and just be like, apparently iRacing doesn't see this as damage that needs to be repaired. So does it show crooked on your screen too?
I'm just checking.
Up, so now it's straight on mine. So now it's not crooked anymore.
No, it's
It
it's
says the
fine on
game.
mine.
It says or at least on a Reddit thread, it said somebody had the exact same problem where it says the repairs are complete, and then they left the pits and the steering was bent, and it says that sometimes the game simulates just things being too broken to repair.
Oh, that might be accurate then. It's like you used up all your amount of extra suspension parts. I just left the pits to see if it'd do anything better for me. It's definitely crooked still.
Can I just like? Can I just? Can you just do an absolute bin?
Okay, so look on y'all's TV broadcast thing. Can you see like the wheel hanging off the front?
Right
No.
side.
It's
Right
fine.
side.
It's
No.
showing normal now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Coming up on a
Oh,
slower
that's
class
lame.
car.
I was gonna say if somebody can get a picture of it hanging off, we'll just get a picture of it and we'll quit.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in this thread. They're all saying like after a substantial amount of damage, the repairs just won't get back their car, or it won't get the car back to 100%.
Of all the crashes, man, that was not the one.
That's crazy.
I cannot believe the three of us have wasted a day doing this.
Right?
Hey, I enjoyed my time. Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's been fun. Thanks, guys.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, it was kind of a what a way to spend 7 hours or 6 hours.
Okay, so I'm just gonna like trash it into a wall going into the pits.
Okay.
Y'all good with that?
Yeah, why not?
Let me.
Does somebody else want to do it? Since like I kind of cost this whole race, if somebody else wants the pleasure of doing it, we'll swap cars. Let somebody else drive it.
No, you're good. Just don't take out anyone else, please.
All right, last chance. Here
Right
we go.
side's clear.
And then,
Oh, please don't go back on the track. Don't go back on the track. Okay. Oh, the engine's not even gonna start.
Showing us the meatball flag. We'll need to come in for repairs.
Thanks, Jim. I figured. Okay, so towing for a minute. I want to see if it says any repairs after this. If it just tries to send me back out, it's just like, have at it, man. We're done with you.
Oh, Jesus.
It's probably gonna say the engine's like permanently trashed. It won't even start up right now, and it won't let me kill the ignition. There we go.
Damn.
So crazy.
Really
Okay, does the
had
car look
permanently
damaged on the replay
defensive.
now?
Both the TV cams are like blocked. Yeah, the headlight is canted, so
I hope
that's about
somebody
all.
was behind us and saw it and was like, "What in the actual fuck was that?"
Oh, they're restarting the launch? Interesting.
Okay, there we go. All right. 36 minutes required repairs, 17 minutes
There you
optional
go.
repairs. So
Okay,
y'all
right,
just go
lads.
do whatever you want for the next 45 minutes, and if somebody wants to come back and drive a few laps, see if the car's still working. What a mess.
Well, I think it's fair to say my vote's to call it at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I hate
so
I
funny.
hate to say.
Like we literally we can't run like that.
Do you really hate to say? I don't.
No,
don't.
I actually do, because like the split two guys I don't think are finishing either.
Oh, that is a bummer. Yeah, I heard them describe how their crash was, and I was like, that sounds eerily familiar.
Mm.
So they just got smashed into the wall on the banking by a car that was like 2 laps down.
I think we call it, guys.
All right, well,
I
I'm
think
in the
we might
car.
get
I
P12
don't think we have.
Alex.
I don't think we have a choice.
Yeah, that's fair.